Hello everyone, this is a continuation of Planescape Torment streams. Unfortunately, the past two ones were a bit botched because the audio went to a different channel and so my voice wasn't on stream. I guess I have something in common with Snoop Dogg now. There was I think he streamed for a while, maybe for a week without any sound, and he had no idea that he did it that way because he had his chat on emotes only and so on. Well, I should have checked the first stream for the sound. I just assumed that it was fine, but it wasn't. Well, anyways, last time I visited Farad and I forgot that he died, and I was looking for how to get into the foundry. I wanted to ask him, but obviously that does not work out. So I looked up online and I have to go to, I think, the clerk's ward. Because in the sensorium there is a room that the past iteration of the Nameless One actually owned. And so yeah, have to go there. And I don't think you actually found out about it unless you ask if you could rest there. So that's why I haven't. That's why I don't think that I say upkeep. What? Ah, she wanted to rest. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good time for it because I'm going to that place anyways. Well, probably could rest there, I'm assuming. Wait. I wish I could use the crystal that I have, the portal lens, but you cannot use it unless you're in the maze. Yeah. Maybe I could use the Modron cube, but then get out of there. Okay, bend the left knee. The small metal toy is a replica of a cube-like creature with huge eyes in one of its faces. Yeah, we've seen that one already. We can use that to get into the Modron maze, but it seems that there is a rare click, then blinding white light suddenly explodes in your hands. What? Okay, so we did teleport there. Now we use it and we get to the lower ward. Okay, so that works. Okay, I'm glad. And didn't actually need to go here. At least not at the moment. We need to go to the upper ward. And here we wanted to go to the Civic Fest Hall. Which is right here. Maybe the guy out front is finally teaching people. Maybe not. Yeah, there he is. Salabesh. Can we ask him about anything? You see Salabesh the Onyx. He makes a brief but graceful half bow. Again, you stand before me. Yeah, I had some questions. Have you put... About what, Not the word and the like. I hope plenty of more common folk could answer your such questions. Yeah, I had a question about the request to be made mage shooter in the fest hall. No, I recently upset the head of the fest hall board of mages. Feel it would be best to wait for a time before making my request. Yeah, that's all I wish to know. I think he told me the same thing last time. So he probably does not ever get to be the mage tutor at all. So we should ask Splinter about where could I rest here? Is there somewhere I could rest here? Yes, there are lodgings within the fest hall. Should you wish to visit them, walk eastwards through the fest hall. From here, you will eventually come to them. Speak to the room clerk there. I see. So to the east. Oh yeah, the dormitories. Well, I didn't check them out. So I could ask someone here, I guess. The attractive young woman smiles pleasantly. Greetings, sir. She closes her eyes and flips through a large ledger, stopping at what seems to be a random page and opening her eyes once more. Ah, here's your own key. She hands you a small key. The easternmost chamber has been waiting for quite some time for your return. Would you like to rest now, sir? No, but what do you mean, waiting for my return? The clerk gives you a strange look. My ledger indicates that this is your key, sir, and has been for a good long time. If that is not so, then perhaps I'm merely mistaken. Would you like to rest now, sir? Yeah, that would be nice. Do I have the key? It seems so. Can you tell me where my room is then? This key to a room within the Civic Fest Hall. Should be somewhere around here. Unless, oh wait, are there only 3 rooms? I mean 4. So one of them is mine, but probably this one. Not sure though. How about this one? Doesn't, maybe, I don't know. Let's check the others. Unfulfilled desire. Yeah, that's an interesting name. Let's talk to her. The woman before you is incredibly attractive. There is something tangible aura about her that makes you want to speak to her. As you stepped up to her, she glances at you coyly, then gives you a knowing smile. Greetings. You want something, yes? She hisses the yes, drawing it out slowly, sensually from between her teeth. I can help. Name your desire and I shall provide it. I love the fest hall, Morte says. The woman ignores Morte, her eyes locked with yours. She smiles, awaiting your response. Oh, I want weapons of power. Ugh. I want my memories secured, all of them. She smiles. Much may be forgotten in a lifetime, and much more in several lifetimes. I can't help you. She studies your face closely. Explain to me the ways in which you want this memory. Speak to me your craving, and I shall speak to you for of the price. What proof do you have that you could return them to me? She doesn't seem to move, but suddenly her hand is touching your forehead, a finger dragging along your temple. Only this. You feel as if the fog in your head has been peeled away, briefly, enough to catch a glimpse of remembrance. But before you can focus on the memory, the fog rolls back in. Only this. Only tell me why you desire it. Speak to me your craving, and I shall speak to you of the price. Describe the way in which you want your memories back. As you speak, her smile fades, and she leans forward attentively. Her eyes ravaging your features as you speak. Your presence compels you to speak more than you normally would, and after a few moments, your eyes flutter close as she gives a sharp intake of breath. Suddenly, the desire for your memories begins to wane. Your want slowly drains out of you, leaving only cold emptiness in its wake. She opens her eyes again as you stop speaking. What's wrong, traveler? Do you no longer want your memories to return to you? No, I mean, yes. What have you done to me? She seems perplexed. Wherever do you mean? Despite her innocent demeanor, you're certain something unnatural has occurred. She has somehow siphoned off some part of your desire, stolen it away from some ghastly collection of wants. Or perhaps to feed upon. Had you finished speaking of your desire, certainly it would have been lost forever to you. Come now, is there something else you want then, huh? Tell me of it. I'd best not. Very well, unfulfilled desire. I see. Kind of funny. Well, I'm not sure which room is mine. I guess this one has the least closed things. Oh my god, that's a lot of spells. I'll need that. I have so much garbage in my inventory. It's not even. Oh my god. Maybe I should identify it. Maybe not. Let's give that to Morte for now. This is all garbage. Doesn't help that usually it's like a rat's ass or I don't know. Needle and thread. Junk. It's like literal garbage in my inventory. But that's how it works. Tears of Salir Day. Yeah. Bronze sphere that smells like custard. Uh, or should I say mustard? Not sure where I said custard. Does it say custard? Yeah, rotten custard. I see. Yeah. Let's give the bracelets to the modern. Charms I will keep. And the ball to him as well. It's probably useless now. At this point, but I don't know, I want to keep it for some reason. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's get the scrolls. Scroll of Shield is probably really good. The spell summons a global force that protects the caster from physical attacks. When cast, magical aura of protective energy arises and protects the recipient from attacks from all directions. It bestows an AC free against all attacks and +1 on saving throws for 25 seconds per level of the caster. So, would I get an AC of... Yeah, I should probably get that. For some reason, I thought the Nameless one had an AC of 2. But I guess that's fine. Let's copy this spell. It's really good. Scroll of Pacify. Violence is not always the best solution. This spell seeks to quell the boiling blood, the anger, and malice through peaceful means. As per the name, the spell will magically pacify 2 to 8 creatures of 6 hit dice or less in the area of effect. This affects all types of creatures except for undead. When cast, creatures must immediately make a saving throw with the spell. If they fail, they stop all activities that require any exertion, including arguments, combat, and etc. From here, the affected creatures will fall into a deep slumber. The affected creatures will remain in the state for the duration of the spell if left unharmed. If attacked, they will automatically gain a new saving throw to try and break the spell. This is probably a pretty good spell. It reminds me of Sleep for some reason. Oh, and I remembered another spell that wasn't a shield and I haven't read it. I don't know what that was. What was the spell? Oh, the Spell of Friends. One's charm, one's beauty, and one's charisma is oftentimes the key to gaining the trust of strangers and creating new friends. When cast, the caster temporarily gains 2 to 8 points of charisma, which could be helpful in making new friends or opening new paths. I see. Probably not that many charisma checks in this game. So far, at least. I haven't come across any. Well, let's... I think these lenses are basically a trap for wasting your identifiers. It's cursed. Usable only by Modrons. I see. Ah, that's equipment for our friend here. Apparently, some modern once foolishly asked the wizard what it was like to be intoxicated. And these goggles were fashioned. When this lens is equipped, the wearer becomes braver, stronger, but can't see targets too well, reducing chances to hit and damage an enemy. I thought it was like some kind of a poison at first, and it is cursed. Beer goggles, it's called. I see. -1 to damage, +10 to base hit points. Let's give that to him, but make sure he doesn't use it with that Nordham's Ocular. The snap-on magnifying lens serves as a sighting scope for Nordham's crossbows. It improves his accuracy and looks really intimidating when he slides it down over his left eye. That's cool. He has some slot for chest armor. But I don't think there's any chest armor in the game. It's kind of a meme. Okay, let's get that. Blindness could probably be useful. +1 to luck. That's kind of useless. Perhaps. I don't think there's any casinos or anything of that sort to use the luck on. Yeah, let's check the other shelf. Balmy fluid, needle and thread. High quality stiletto. 1 to 4 piercing. Yeah, but the bone dagger I have is a bit better. Oh, that's a lot of charms. Let's check the cockroach. I haven't seen that one before. Cockroaches are common on the plains as other scavengers. As common as on the plains as other scavengers. I see. For some reason, the thought didn't cross my mind that there are any cockroaches on the plains. I guess I know now. The shell of this particular dead cockroach has been dotted with paints and faint arcane symbols. The magic contained within the charm is activated and the roach is consumed. When swallowed, the recipient temporarily gains the protection of the cockroach. Their skin hardens, taking the strength of a suit of chainmail armor, and the charmed individual becomes difficult to squash, giving them added protection versus crushing attacks. I see. Let's give that to Darkon, he'll probably make use of it. Sometimes he's tanking. Charcoal charm. Resistance to fire. This piece of charcoal is a charred bone fragment of some creature, perhaps a finger bone or a talon. Various symbols have been scratched onto its surface. The scratchings are so faint you almost miss them. This charcoal charm temporarily protects the user against flames and extreme heat. To use the charm, the charred bone is snapped and both halves are ground to powder. Then the charcoal dust is rubbed over the heart of the user. I imagine that would be pretty difficult in the heat of battle, but game rules, so it works. Thrice blind charm invokes blindness. These 3 cranium red tails have been woven into a small charm. Despite the separation from their owners, however, they still twitch occasionally as if irritated. To use this charm, the caster must select a target within his line of sight. Then, while remaining focused on the target, untie the charm. The target's vision will turn black for several minutes, rendering them helpless and reducing their combat ability drastically. I see. Might be useful. Let's give it to Anna. Corpse Fly Charm. Swarm Curse. Yeah, that's pretty good as well. And I think that's it. At least what was on the shelf. No, Bone Charm. This is a good one, yeah. Goes +2 armor class. So Nameless one should keep it. The door is locked. Could Anna open it, or is that locked magically? No, she opened it. And there's more goodies in here. The dodecahedron. This heavy dodecahedron, about the size of both your fists pulled together, seems inexplicably familiar to you. Its texture is cold and smooth, but whether it's metal or stone, you cannot tell. A certain almost intangible tension runs over the object, as if it were ready to spring into the air at any moment. I could use it. Scroll of Ice and Fire. A red sphere of fire and a blue sphere of ice shall streak forth and quickly strike down the target of your choosing. This summons 2 crystal spheres, one red and one blue, that strike the specified target. Upon impact, the red sphere explodes into a fireball. 30 radius that inflicts up to 18 points of fire damage upon all in range. And the blue spheres explode in the same area, causing up to 18 of cold damage. A successful saving throw with a spell halves the damage. Does it have per sphere, or in general just from a spell? Okay, let's copy that. What else is in the room? Some kind of a small enclosed patio with these glass doors. A patio is what? An outdoor space generally used for dining or recreation that adjoins a structure and is typically paved. Well, why can't we visit it then? Sounds interesting. Oh, nor the mask. Anna, does your tail assist you in maintaining your balance? It's kinda cool. I like the dialogues, they're kinda wholesome. Okay, so what this box? Copper commons? Yeah, that's good. Let's use the dodecahedron. Ready to spring into the air at any moment. Examine the dodecahedron closely. Upon closer examination, you realize that each side of the dodecahedron is a plate that can be twisted clockwise or counterclockwise. It appears to be a puzzle box or a combination lock. As each of the pentagonal plates has 5 possible positions, the dodecahedron has no less than 244,140,625 settings. It would take every second of the next 77 odd years to hit all the combinations, but then you might just get lucky and stumble onto a solution in minutes. How many is that? 244 million. It's weird that, judging by... well, I think dodecahedrons have 8 sides, if I'm correct. And if it has 5 positions on each of them, yeah, I guess it could be 244 million. But it doesn't sound that way. At least, well, anyways, fiddle with it for a bit. As you methodically twist the cold gray facets of the dodecahedron, a strange sensation forms at the base of your skull. Your hands seem to move out of their own accord, turning the object and spinning the facets with mechanical precision. You've done this before, you know the combinations once, and you also become aware that there is a certain danger within the object. Whether it's from simple traps or something less mundane, though, you cannot tell. Keep working. In moments, you have what might be the first 4 sides locked into their proper places. As you begin to twist the 5th side of the dodecahedron, you recall a cunning blade trap that would snap out to lash at the meddler's hands, slashing their wrists and severing fingers. You avoid the trap with the proper number of rotations, certain that you've made progress in the unraveling of the object's secret. Keep working. After avoiding the dodecahedron's springing blades, you slowly puzzle out the next series of facet positions. As you start to turn the 9th side of the dodecahedron, you suddenly remember a second trap, jets of toxic gas that would form a billowing cloud of lethal corrosive vapor around the curious meddler. You circumvent the trap with the correct number of twists, positive that you've nearly unlocked the dodecahedron. You circumvent the dodecahedron's poisonous gas trap and begin your work on the final facet positions. Just as you're locking the 12th pentagon into... Oh, so that's not 8, that's 12. I see. So that's 12, I guess I could see why there'll be 242 million possible positions. You recollect sorcerer's runes hidden within the dodecahedrons that would blast the unwitting holder with bolts of magical lightning. After disarming the trap with the correct number of facet rotations, the dodecahedron clicks and begins to open in your hands. The dodecahedron splits once, twice, and eventually unfolds itself impossibly into a perfectly rectangular tablet, the size of a large book. Etched onto its surface are a series of bizarre symbols. It looks to be a code or language that you feel should be familiar to you, but it's not. Further examination of the tablet reveals that by twisting the pentagonal facets that are now upon the underside of the tablet, different pages may be displayed across the tablet's face. You finally realize that the dodecahedron is a tome or journal of some sort. Until I learned to read this language, I might as well just put it away. Updated my journal. I was able to open the trapped dodecahedron I found, and it appears to be some sort of a tome or journal. I cannot decipher the strange language it's written in, however, perhaps there is a scholar or linguist in the fast hall that can help me. In the fast hall, perhaps. Let's talk to Splinter first. The music has stopped. For some reason. Okay, where's Splinter? Splinter regards you coolly as ever as you approach. We welcome you once more to the Civic Fast Hall, traveler. How may we help you? Had some questions. Is there a linguist or scholar here who could help me with the language in this dodecahedron? We know one such man who might help you, Finam. Where can I find him? Finam is currently not lecturing here, so your best chance to find him would be at his home. Walk south of the Fast Hall entrance, between Ivana's Galleria and the Apothecary. You will see it on your right, a small 5-sided home west of the Curiosity Shop. That's all I wanted to know. We visited the Galleria last time. I think. Maybe the time before that, and it was kind of fun. I wish that stream had sound on though. Let's yeah, Phenom. It almost looks like some kind of a tomb where I don't know. Is Phenom fine living this? You live like this? Although it does look a bit cozy compared to other houses in Sigil. There's some kind of a chicken, I guess, that has 4 legs. Maybe I'm just tripping. Yeah, this is actually kind of nice. I wonder if they have somewhere, you know, the art assets for this, so you could possibly enhance it with the AI. That would be kind of sick. The short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I am Finam. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise, so unless you have business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions. I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language, and the like, I can be of no help to you in other matters. Unfolded the dodecahedron to a page with writing on it and ask if he can translate it. He takes the unfolded dodecahedron in his hands and examines it closely. This language is a long dead one, known to virtually no one. I believe my father, a linguist like myself, knew this language, and may well have been the only man in Sigil at the time that could understand it. I recognize it from his notes, but I cannot translate it. Do you have those notes still? Vinam shakes his head. They'll be of no use to you if you're looking to translate anything, and the few actual books he had pertaining to that language disappeared around the time of his murder, I believe. I would very much like to see them just the same. Vinam gives you no insight. I'm not certain where they are just now, and I'm looking. I am looking for something else at the moment. My research journal. Perhaps when I've recovered it, I could spare the time to find those notes for you. I'll find it for you then. Where did you last have it? Well, I'm not certain. I might be at, well, perhaps it somehow found its way to the brothel of state intellectual lusts, but how that could have come to pass, I do not know. He clears his throat and looks away from you. I looked there. You had said your father was murdered. I'm not strangled, he was. He had left it to tutor someone. He taught various languages to supplement his research income and was discovered dead in a side chamber of the Civic Fest Hall. It almost sounded like said alley. The killer was never found. This was perhaps 50 years ago now. I was but a child. He knew the language though, and could teach it. Surely he did and could. Were he alive today, my father was said to be a great teacher, Vinam sighs sadly. I have had his skill with language, but not his patience for others, sadly. I see. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if his skill with languages translates to teaching as well, because I actually personally never tried to teach anyone, but I don't know. I don't want to, and that's probably what influences that, I guess. Is he interred at the mortuary? Why no? His ashes are kept here. He points at the bronze urn sitting atop a cabinet beside the bouquet of purple flowers. Why, a wry smile crosses Finam's lips. A necroscope, are you? Speak with the dead? He suddenly frowns. I have no wish to speak of these things any longer. You'll have to excuse me, sir. Farewell. Farewell, Finnan. Oh. There is an urn atop this small cabinet, full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched into the base of the urn are the words Finn Andal, Finn Andley, beloved husband, father, and scholar of the 100 languages. He knew 100 languages. Historians' bones tell on their remains. The ashes seem to stir faintly as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why have I been summoned to these ashes, cold and grey, at the heart of a hag? As the heart of a hag, I see. To answer some questions, spirit. Ask then, that I might return to my most quiet thoughts. Who are you? I was Finn, a linguist and scholar. I was murdered, by a student of mine, murdered so that I could not teach another the language that I taught him, the tongue of the Uyo. It was one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew none of who spoke it, save myself and that one, damnable, murderer student. Describe to him the writing from the folding of the Cahedron. Ask if he knows the language. I could teach you this language, yes, it would please me to do so. In fact, if only to spite that bloody-handed student of long ago. First tell me what languages you do speak. Learn what you can from the spirit. Just a second. Sorry for that. As the spirit speaks to you in the lost language of the Uyo, there is a throbbing sensation in your temples as a memory begins to surface. Memories of this language. You recall letters, words, phrases until, like a spar wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry, the language is once more revealed to you in its entirety. There is another memory, though, bubbling to the surface, a darker one. Its presence troubles you somehow, fills you with unease and unexplained pangs of guilt. Allow the memories to surface. At last, you recall Finn Andley himself. You remember his gentle voice, his kind manner, his schooling you in the ancient language of the Uyo. You also remember your scarred, gnarled hand wrapped around his frail throat. Oh, crushing his larynx, and thus ensuring that the secret contents of your journal, hidden and thrice trapped in a dodecahedral puzzle box and penned in the obscure language of the Uyo, would be forever safe from prying eyes. Finn, I must tell you, it was me who murdered you. The spirit is silent for a time, the ashes rustling softly within their urn. When it speaks once more, its voice is full of sorrow, but why? And why would you come to me once more? Did you forget what I had been taught, what you had been taught? No, well, yes, it's difficult to explain, but I must have been a former self of mine that murdered you. Each time I die, I reawaken, as if from a long sleep, but haven't forgotten everything, who I was or what I'd done. I think I understand. I sense your regret, and would forgive you. May peace be with you, people of old. May you prove kinder in this life than in the one which saw an end to mine. Thanks, Finn, and farewell. Kind of sucks though to die like that. Ah, so. Oh yes, I have to read the dodecahedron now. Unfold it and read it. The tablet turns to be a journal of sorts, one kept by some prior incarnation of yourself. It would seem, and not an altogether sane one either. There are only a handful of completely coherent sections. Browse through it. Boom, that's a lot actually. Read about whispering shadows. The whispers are not the shadows moving. They're speaking, plotting, talking to each other. I can understand some of what they say. Read something else. Oh, it seems that I cannot read what they say. A female ghost, that must be Dayanara. The book tells me things, whispers things. It tells me to avoid the ghost girl, avoid her. I don't know her, and she torments me. I see. You read about something. Read about hiding something within your own body. I think that was a ring. And so I swallowed it, hoping it would catch in my bowels. I can make someone remove it when I need to. Yeah, probably. Read some paranoid ranting. I have learned that my life is not my own. I will not allow you to have my life. You will have to pull my life from my broken body if you want it. It's you who will die. If I cannot have it, neither will you. You're responsible for this treason of flesh. You will not live to live my life. What about the accursed tattoos? The accursed tattoos will not leave my skin. I have tried to burn them off of my skin. Failed. I try and cloak myself, but I always feel that people are reading my flesh, reading me like a book. Wherever they look at me, I want to tear their eyes out, pluck them from their sockets and crush them beneath my heel. Yeah, this one is not particularly sane one, for sure. What about the dreams and Ravel? Why can't I dream? I used the goblet of Semir to force a waking dream. I saw a hag. She tempted me and threatened me with shadows. I have never seen her, but she came when I dreamt. I must not dream again. I must always be aware. I destroyed the goblet. She says she is someone of power and that she will have me, will find me. Get away, hag. Stay far from me. Leave me in peace. I want nothing to do with you. Continuing reading this portion of the journal. Her voice reeked of evil talons, talonless like spiders. They burrowed into my grey matter, and I needed her out of my mind. Out, hag. She was a myth, a fairy tale, who alone challenged the Lady of Pain. How can one fight someone who is a myth? I don't have the weapons. I need weapons that will kill her should she find me. I need a strategy so she cannot defeat me when she comes for me. I must devise and think. I shall beat her. The danger of names. Fear names. Names, they have power and identity. Names can be used as weapons by others. They are a hook that can be used to track you, find you, hunt you across the plains. Remain nameless and you shall be safe. Isn't this what Rikwin told me? It seems so, because it's oddly familiar. Okay, let's read something else. Read about the killing in the fest hall. I went to the fest hall looking for the path of my false self in halls. So glaring was it that those I did not know, the false ones, welcomed me into their confidence, treated me as a friend, showed me my room, attended to my needs. I had to restrain myself from launching out against them. That would have been premature. First, I needed to protect my identity. I found one who knew the exclusive language of the Uyo, learned it as I could, then killed him. Then I went to the sensorium and prepared to end the matter soon. Soon. What do you mean? Read about the murder of one who tried to help you. There's nothing he can do. Memories are gone, he says, never to return. He says, or lies, and tells me this is what he told me. Lies. He says my mind is weakening from every death. Lies. He sat there, betraying my confidence with every turn. He says that only after 3 more deaths, 3 more lives, will I gain the benefit of keeping my memories. But that I myself will die when I die. How can one be immortal and still die? He could not answer, so he was of no use. I butchered him so that no other incarnation will ever benefit from his uselessness. It's strange that it seems that this incarnation of the Nameless One, he does actually have the memories, and he keeps them after death. For some reason. But why would that be? Read a cryptic answer from an unknown source. So the ghastly head said, "You have been divided, you are one of many men, one in many men. You bear my many names, each has left their scars on your flesh." Continue reading the journal. Lost One, Immortal One, Incarnation's End, Man of 1,000 Deaths, the one doomed to life. Restless One, one of many, the one whom life holds prisoner, the bringer of shadows, the wounded one, misery bringer, Yemeth. So is his name actually Yemeth? Temei. Backwards. Maybe that's... Okay. I might be reading too much into this. You are silvered glass that cracked and pieces scattered across history. Only one piece of its import is of import. Regain that. Is of importance. Confusing. Regain that and your life will be yours again. There will be a price. The price will buy you a chance. Without the chance, you are doomed. You have lost that which is never meant to be separated from man. Your mortality has been stripped from you. Lost. It exists, but you must find it before your mind is lost to you as well. What is that about the legacy? A legacy, the note said. Forget not to collect your legacy. And a small cold scratch beside it. 51AA. A trap, no doubt, set by yet another of my false selves. Seed destroyable. There's more. No, nothing. I see. Doesn't seem like there's anything else. But thankfully, I think I have to go to the Advocate to find more about the legacy. The Advocate's house. Oh, he seems well off. This is a solid crystal tank with several fish frozen inside. Yeah, it seems so. What's this? This is a beautiful silver mirror. A mirror out of silver. This man is dressed in soft blue robes covered with intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robes look wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle age and early 60s. The worry lines make you an exact The warrior lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man turns slowly towards you. As he does, you are suddenly struck with the terrible sense that you know this man, or did at one time. Greetings. The man squints as if trying to place you. Yes? Is there something that I can help you with? Who are you? I am Lannis. Maybe, no, Ionis. That would probably be correct. He studies you and frowns, so will you look at me? I don't know, what is this place? I am an advocate. These are my offices. Ionis's voice stays on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you had best test your curiosity as well elsewhere. An advocate, what's that? Morty blinks with a whisper. He's saying he's a lawyer, a counselor, one of those berks who rattle their bond boxes at the courts. Anis's frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigil's legal system, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that their property is divided as they choose upon death, defends those in Sigil's courts who have been wrongly accused, he pauses. Did you need help in any of these areas? I could ask for a legacy of a young woman. What's that? Actually, I've come to collect the legacy of a young woman. What? Indeed, very well. Do you remember the legacy in question? The young woman's legacy is 687KS. That, his eyes widen as you name legacy. My daughter's legacy? He looks shocked. How do you know my daughter? I don't know. Have I come across this somewhere? I'm not certain there's a citizen stone in the vessel that held the legacy number. Oh yeah! Actually, it's a legal matter and no concern of yours. Ian stares at for you for a moment, his eyes then narrow, of course. His voice is like ice. If you would be so kind to wait, I shall return pleasantly with your legacy. All of the articles are accounted for, and is holding 3 scrolls in his hands. I had no idea she had established a legacy here. He's staring at the items, almost hypnotized. Here you are, if I may. May I read them, sir? Okay, you could read them. Ionis takes the scrolls and studies it. There is a long silence, then he slowly looks up at you. You meant very much to my daughter. She was willing to give her life for you. I believe that's the case. Ionis hands the scroll back to you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your kindness. It's the least I could do. Perhaps there is something else you can help me with. Very well. What can I help you with? Have you met before? The man studies you for a moment, frowning in thought. The wrinkles on his face become more pronounced as he does so, and you are again struck by the toll that age seems to have placed on him. No, yet you seem familiar. Yet. He continues to study your features, then shakes his head. I will concede that there is something familiar about you, sir, and I apologize for any insult my failing memory may be giving you at this moment. I have been preoccupied for some time now. Have we met before? Truth, I think so. I can't really remember myself. I'm afraid it's frustrating for us both, it would seem. There's something else. Are you alright? You must excuse me, as of late I have been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it had been a rather trying time these past few years. What do you mean? What troubles? Ionis sighs. I do not wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. There was also the fire, but that is another matter. A fire? There is nothing much to say about the matter. It was a strange localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. I maybe have been responsible for the fire. Can you tell me what was burned? A number of old legacies were burnt, and some mementos and other keepsakes of value only to me. I may have been responsible for the fire. What do you mean? I may have done it at some point in the past, when I was not in my right mind. I regret my actions and ask your forgiveness. But Aenis looks almost at a loss for words. But why? Some of the things that were burned, they were precious only to me, irreplaceable. It is likely that one of those mementos or documents was threatening to his other self of mine. I do not believe I will ever know. Your other self? What are you speaking of? I have a peculiar condition. I lose myself on occasion and become someone else for a time. During that time, my actions are not my own. Uh, to tell the truth, I do not know. You do not know? What, am I speaking to a child? How can it be that you don't know the reasons for your actions? I have a peculiar condition. Let's see. Yeah, in France. You seem to be thinking the matter. I have heard of such symptoms of the mind, temporary amnesia, and the emergence of another personality. Then there is the fact that you have chosen to claim responsibility for the crime. I came to ask your forgiveness and make amends for your loss. It is within my power. Ah, yeah, Ines frowns. Then his expression relaxes. There is nothing to forgive. I have come to terms with the loss, and no lasting harm has been done. I do not know why the target was chosen. However, there was nothing of value among the documents burned. What were the documents? Legacies mostly. Some very old ones. Legacies. There are contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possessions are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I have also heard them called wills. Yeah, that's how we call it in IRL. Actually, I believe you have a legacy for me. Indeed, very well. Do you remember the legacy in question? The legacy number is 51 AA, I believe. He looks at you in surprise as you name the legacy. That is extremely old. Are you certain? A shocked look comes upon his face. I hope that wasn't one of the ones that was burned. How old is it? Well, Ines ponders for a moment. Several decades at least. Can you check and see if the legacy still exists? No, quickly. Oh yes, of course, I will take a moment. I will wait. Ines returns, nodding. Yes, fortunately it was unharmed by the fire. All of the articles are safe. Could I collect on a time the beneficiary? Of course, sign here and here on the dotted line. There and there, right? There we are. That should be the last of the paperwork. Here are all the items that were in the vault. One looks like a foundry receipt, though. Quite an old one, to be sure. Did the deceased have something commissioned at the foundry? I don't really know. Perhaps I'm beginning to think just about anything is possible. Where is the foundry? It is located in the lower ward. In the past, it is past the great gate. Look for a number of guardsmen guards the gate, and you should be in the right place. Very well. What I wanted to ask him about his daughter. Ines, there is a sensory stone in the sensorium that contains a fragment of your daughter's experiences. His eyes ablaze with hope. There is. But in which one? You must tell me. It is one of the sensed sensory stones. If you are not a sensed, you could not gain access. Must find a way. Perhaps they would make me an exception for her father. Hmm. I do not wish to break the census laws, nevertheless, I could speak to someone and see if something could be done. Ines looks relieved. If you could, I would be most grateful. I will see what could be done. I would know more about Dayanara, though. What was she like? She was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensets. Not an unpleasant faction, but she had also met someone there. She followed him on a journey there, and there she died. Her bod, he looks pained. I was not even able to recover the body. I saw a woman by that name entered in the mortuary memorial hall. She had became a ghost and claimed that she knew me. What? Ines looks flustered. What did you just say? Her spirit now resides in the memorial hall. At best be speaking figuratively. Ines looks furious. If so, then I have no time for your wordplay. No, my words are literal. Her spirit resides in the memorial hall. She became a spirit. Yes. I will have to seek her out, see if I can communicate with her. See what has kept her here, her state. How do you know she has become a spirit? I spoke with her for a time, and she seems to be in distress. You spoke to her. Ines seems to become more confused by the moment. What distresses her? Me, apparently, she said that she loved me and that I had loved her, and that I had forsaken her. I see. Perhaps Ines frowns and studies you. His face had become like stone. Are you the one she left the sigil with? The one who left her on the journey that killed her? I'm not certain. I think I may be that man, but I have forgotten much. You? Ines looks you up and down. You are the one. And you to say you have forgotten? Ines draws himself up. He looks like he's squaring himself for a battle. You have forgotten? But the incident was not so long ago. How can this be? I cannot tell him that I'm immortal and I die and resurrect, it seems. I have a strange condition. I lose myself for a time. Anything you can tell me about myself or your daughter would be invaluable. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in the city. I studies you intently. You do not strike me as one of them, at least not on this matter, he says. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you, you and my daughter on your journey must have left deep scars. I'm inclined to agree. Then I ask you a word on this. If your memory returns and you discover what happened to my daughter, return to me so that my mind may at last be at rest on this matter. I will do that. Very well. Then I'll leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. Very well. This is unfortunate. It seems that tragedy follows us wherever we go. Oh, I should probably check if there's something on the floor. Because I did get a bunch of stuff, yeah. And I do not have enough room in my inventory. Dianar's Legacy. My love, if you are reading this, then the tragedy I have seen has come to pass. I have died, and you have remained to suffer the loss. Know this, my love. I know why you were forced to shield your feelings from me. You sought to protect me from the terrible burden you carry with you. The distance you kept between us was your way of protecting me, and the brief moments when we were alone and you let your feelings be known, that was when I knew you cared for me. Carry no regrets with you, carry no guilt, for I came with you on your haunted journey of my own accord, and no matter how death came for me, I know that you did everything in your power to save me. Our lives are intertwined, my love, and death shall not be the wall between us. For my sight has seen what is to come, only in staccato segments, but it is enough for me to know that we will be separated for a time, but we shall be reconciled again. Staccato here means that it basically in short segments, as staccato is played in short bursts, basically. Thus, I do not see my death as a farewell, but only as an interval before we meet again. Carry my ring with you and these other pieces of me, and think of me. Keep me in your mind and heart, and that will be the beacon that brings us together. Forever, Sayonara. A healing scroll. It heals 33 hit points. That's actually pretty good. This tissue-thin vellum scroll was part of Daenara's legacy. The scroll is neatly rolled up and wrapped with a red ribbon. When the ribbon is opened, the healing magic contained within the scroll is released. The scroll will heal even the most critical of wounds. It disintegrates into a powder when used. Give that to Darkon. Kaleidoscope Gem. Invokes Chromatic Orb when held. +1 to saving throws. Cyber spells resistance to magic. Usable by only good creatures. I'm not a good creature at the moment. This shimmering jewel is actually the corpse of a radiant spirit from the upper plane of Elysium. When these creatures pass away, they leave their shimmering husks behind. These husks are often mistaken for jewels or semi-precious stones. Their essence is still that of harmony and goodness, and they can only be employed by a creature whose heart is filled with good intentions. The kaleidoscopic eye can either be wielded in the hand or placed on an empty eye socket, depending on whether its owner wishes to use it for defense or offense. When held, the user may summon its power to harness ambient light, twist it, then turn it against his enemies. When placed in the owner's eye socket, the eye grafts itself into the wearer's skull and helps shield its new owner. It absorbs a portion of the energies from the incoming attacks and provides proof against all manner of magical attacks. When the kaleidoscopic eye's offensive power is exhausted, it cracks and turns to dust. Which sucks, because I would use these things, but it's always that they're just like one use. So it kind of sucks. Bloody handkerchief. Oh, I must have dropped some items that I had on me to get the items that... this is confusing. What would it drop that way? Maybe because the games just have to make sure that I have the key items with me. Daenara's ring. +1 to armor class, all saving throws, armor class with suspicion. This is really good. This ivory ring was part of Daenara's legacy. It radiates a slight glow, and though it is cold to the touch, the chill is strangely comforting. The ivory band stretches to fit the bit of any finger. Why would it fit any finger if it can only be used by the nameless one? So basically that we could use it on any... was his hand fingers. In case he loses one, I'm not sure. But then again, he would probably regrow it. Among the many secrets of the Society of Sensation is the ability to shape a peculiar stone from Elysium, dubbed the Soul Stone. While this stone is not as powerful as the sensory stones, the Soul Stone is said to carry an imprint of the Shaper's feelings. These rings are often used in the sunset marriage ceremonies. Each ring described the feelings of the other. This ring was obviously intended for you. When wearing Dinar's ring, you gain added protection from all attacks and an additional protection from any piercing attacks. Presumably, the ring's purpose is to shield the heart from the shock and trauma, and this extends to any physical pain the wearer suffers as well. If it has protection against piercing, it's almost as if it's meant to protect against stabbing attacks. Twisted ring. Let's get rid of that. Give that to Anna, perhaps. Strange chunk of rock. Stone gullet of Lephile the Gross. Is gullet what I think it is? Let me look that up. The passage by which food passes from the mouth to the stomach, the oesophagus. Okay, so apparently that was someone's organ at some point. The gurgling stone gullet of Lephile the Gross is not as well known as most artifacts tend to be. No wars have been waged over it, no betrayals, no epic journeys into the underworld, only a few moralizing sorcerers, a fat man, and his stomach. As the legend goes, Lephile the Gross was said to have been a promising practitioner of the art, a sorcerer's apprentice to one of the last years of S. Anon. Despite his skill in the art, however, his gluttony was the subject of much ridicule among his peers. During the last great messing of Anon, Lephile was invited to dine at the center table, but unknown to him, his peers had filled with his wine goblet with an elixir of turning flesh to stone to teach the reluctant student a lesson. Oh, Lephile consumed such great amounts of food and drink during the mass, however, that it diluted the potion's effects. Complaining of a stomachache hours after the feast, the local healers discovered that Lephile's stomach had turned into stone. It was still capable of digesting food. Lephile lived the rest of his days happily eating, though his gullet was a few pounds heavier than before. When he finally died, his stomach was removed as an oddity, and since then it has wandered the plains in search of new stomachs. Such a strange thing. I could use it permanently. Let's do that. I guess that means that I replace my stomach with his. So dumb. I have a stomach of stone. Oh, what would you say? A gut of a lead gut or something like that. I think that's a perk in Fallout 3. But there's some kind of a saying with stone guts or metal. I don't remember. Maybe there wasn't. Just my mind making things up, confusing me. A receipt stamped with the symbol of the Godsman, probably redeemable at the Great Foundry. Yeah, but no information as to what it is. Oh, it's the effects of the stone gut. Okay. I think there's someone, the Great Foundry is supposed to be in the lower ward. And it's not located on the map, as these things do, so last time I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. Basically, I think this is the place. with the gate where the Godsmen stand. I cannot open it. I could talk to the guards though. You see a burly, bored-looking guard. State your business, please. What is this place? You are in front of the Great Foundry, home to the believers of the Source. The who? Yes, sir, Godsmen were called. Why? We are one of the 15 recognized factions of Sigil. We believe that every being has within it the spark of divinity, neither good nor evil necessarily, but potential to be divine. Beyond divinity? Oh. We believe there lies something greater. We believe all life has a purpose and a goal, and we are devoted to understanding what these goals are. We strive towards greatness within every step in our lives. Let me look up the year this game released. Basically, Planescape Torment, 1999. Okay, so Beyond Divinity, the game. Video game, yep. 2004, 5 years after? I wonder if that's, I wonder if the name of the Larian game, although I don't know if that was released when they were Larian, it's just that Divinity Original Sin is basically Beyond Divinity. Same setting, I think. Maybe not, but or actually, let me look that up. Was Beyond Divinity made by Larian? Or maybe is? Is Beyond Divinity connected to Divinity Original Sin? No, there's no connection. Actually, Beyond Divinity is set 20 years after Divine Divinity. Well, that's just Beyond Divinity and Divine Divinity. Or is it some kind of a Steam community post about it? Divinity Original Sin Classic. How is it linked to the other Divinity games? Not necessary. Never heard of Divinity before this game. Set in the same world? Oh, but at a different point in history, so there is no connection beyond the occasional Easter egg. Oh, that's interesting. So it does have some connection. It's good to know. I wonder if they took the source from this game, because they call the believers of the source, and there's a source mechanic in Divinity Original Sin 2. Maybe in 1 as well, but that game was so... I don't know. I've definitely enjoyed Divinity Original Sin 2 more than Divinity Original Sin 1, but I couldn't tell why I stopped playing the first game. I think I ran into some skeletons and they just were difficult. And I think I wasn't supposed to go there at that time. I don't know, I don't remember why I stopped playing that. Might want to check that out again. Kind of remember. Sounds important. Yeah, we believe it is, sir. Can I help you with anything else? I had some questions. State the nature of your requirement, sir. What are you doing? Guardian at the gate, sir. Right, I had my questions. Who are you? I am a guard of the believers of the source. I see. I'm here to put in an order. I'm sorry, sir, but we are not currently accepting any new orders due to a large project we have undertaken. Check back in about a year, sir. Thanks for your interest. Oh, I wonder what that kind of an order is. I mean, project. I'm here to pick up an order. Yes, sir, may we see your receipt? Yeah. Thank you, sir. The clerks you seek holds office in the southern wall of the foundry. Thank you for your patronage. He opens the gate for you. Leave. Should it be more like enter? Yet, entrance to the Great Foundry. Foundry workers. Can I talk to them? You see a dropped hiver holding crates around. You can't even tell this poor sod's gender. What do you want from me? Just a couple of answers. Ask away. Uh, who are you? Who are you with the takers? I already paid my taxes. The takers who? You know, the taxmen of the city. What are you, clueless? I have to get back to work. I see. So maybe here. What's this place? I'm just looking around. I don't know where any of this leads. The foundry stairs to the upper level. Sarosa. You see a young woman. As you approach her, her eyes stare directly into yours. You get the uncomfortable feeling that she is not just examining your eye color. Your gaze seems to penetrate far deeper than that. Greetings, stranger. How goes your day? Well enough. I would like you to answer some questions for me. What answer do you seek, half-man? What do you call me? Why do you call me half-man? I call you half-man because I cannot see your spirit. All other mortals who pass through my life show their spirits to me as a shining spike of a smoldering ember. You show nothing at all. I call you half-man because I cannot see your spirit as I see those of others. Whether this is because you have no soul or because you have transcended, I cannot say. One way or another, you are but a man. What the other half is, I cannot say. I see. Could you answer some questions? Who are you? I am Sarosa, daughter of Sandoz, one of the factors of the Godsman. Factors? Uh, Tell me of your family. My brother, Saros, so his brother, Saros, she's the daughter of Sandoz, and her name is Sarosa. My brother Saros is a child of the Foundry, yet I fear he has never embraced the philosophy of the believers of the Source. My father is a factor here, and his travels have led him far from the Foundry and into realms most mortals have never even dreamt of achieving. Tell me of your brother. Cyrus is a brash, impulsive lad, easily given over to his manhood. He is eager to prove himself equal of anything on the plains, full of the aggression of youth. I believe he feels himself more sensate than Godsman, further vindicating my belief that the sensates are the most immature of all the factions in Sigil. Why are the most immature? Why are the most immature? Because, like children, they do not understand that there is more beyond the world of the senses, beyond what we can see, hear, taste, touch, smell. Look around you. You're in the outer planes. This is belief made solid. But that does not mean this seemingly rough matter can be comprehended by the senses. This is belief, no mere physicality can match it. True. I wonder if I could join the Godsman. Probably, yeah. Or just your brother. There's so many entrances here. It doesn't seem like I can... Oh no, I can enter. Where does that lead? Small dwelling. With nothing inside. What about this one? Yeah. There's literally nothing. What about this one? Same thing. Empty as the last one. Is this the same for the last door as well? I'm curious. Yeah, I have been bamboozled, as they say. That's kind of funny. Bidai Lin. You see a severe woman with flaming red hair and pulled back tight, giving her face a stretched, nervous look. She appears to be deep in thought. At your approach, she glances up and says, "Can I help you with something?" Yeah, I had some questions. What do you want? Tell me about the Great Foundry. She stifles a yawn. You can ask almost anyone else here about the Foundry and you'll get the same answer. What makes you think I'll give you one that's any different? Ask another question. Tell me of the project you're working on. Tell you about the project we've sworn our lives to complete and defend. No, I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Just say it's too powerful. Let's just say it's powerful, and it'll be worth the effort we've put into it. Fine. Tell me of some of the other people here. The other people here, well, you've got the brilliant but eccentric Neil Xander, the Gitsray outcast woman Kellera, Fieldon the Grey, whose heart is much less ambiguous than his name, Keldor the Factor, Sandos the Factor, the two children of Sandos, Supervisor Smiths, and a host of others. They all passed me by at one point or another, and frankly I haven't made that much of an effort to get to know them. They work for me or they don't. And that's about as much as I care, I'm afraid. I'm rather devoted to my work, alright? Who are you? My name is Badai. I'm a magical engineer, not a mage, mind you, but a theoretician. Goddamn, that's difficult to say. Theoretician. I'm not sure why. Theoretician. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'm going to make sure that the Godsmen don't get a chance to use that weapon or contract for other such weapons of war again. What do they have here? A nuclear reactor in the works, or what? Might be the case. Can we talk to Kelder? You see a sturdy man who looks like he's just bursting with vitality. His face is tanned and lined, and his black beard. What does a beard? Blackbeard is beginning to show hints of fight. Hail, stranger, and well met. What can I do for you in this fine day? I'd like to ask you a few questions. What did you want to know? Who are you? He smiles broadly. My friend, I am Keldor of Durian, one of the factoriums of the Godsmen, and nominally in charge of this place, while our true high-ups are gone in the conclave. Huh. What's the conclave? But I cannot ask about the conclave, it seems. What can you tell me about this place? This is the Great Foundry, home of the Believers of the Source, also known as the Godsmen. Here we make items that ship all over the plains. We're renowned in many worlds. Only the best work here. It's said that we've got a staff of smiths that rival those of Mount Clan again itself. Personally, I don't think we're that good, but we are close. Can you take on additional work? Sadly, friend, we cannot. We're engaged in a long-term contract right now that's taking up most of our resources. Perhaps when we're finished in a matter of years, he shrugs. My apologies. Tell me more about your faction. Gladly. What do you want to know? What are the beliefs of this faction? Believe that the universe is a giant testing ground, a place where we prove ourselves through a series of tests. These tests continue throughout your life, throughout many lives. Each step in each day may well be a test for you, and your reward in the next life depends on how well you learn your lessons in this life. We believe that a body learns from experience, and that experience extends through your lives, making you into something greater than just a single life. That seems to be true, and I'm not sure if that's a trend for all of the factions, basically, but he's basically saying that you have experience points and it makes you better, like leveling up and such. So what's the point of it all? We're not entirely sure, after all. We haven't gotten to the end of it yet, have we? The best we can figure is that we muddle through our lives seeking to find the answers that are right for us, and in the end we move on to godhood and beyond. What waits there is anybody's guess. That's kind of cool. Alright, keep going. So, life is a test. We take the test, then we pass, we move on to a new form. This might be the form of an archon, or a fiend, or of a power. The choices we make in this life, as always, help chart our course. Whether we have free will or not is still under debate, he smiles. Of course, I'm on the side of the free will people. I hate thinking that my choices have already been made for me. Alright, I had more questions about the faction. Tell me about the faction's history. It's commonly believed that we were founded by Perrine before the Great Upheaval, when all of the factions became 15 in number. During the upheaval, Augie of Fonel tightened the faction's beliefs into what they are today. She had been reincarnated 1,000 times and could remember each one of her reincarnations. She taught us how to treat our intuition and led us to a new era. These two were the most important figures in our faction. We have plenty more stories, but those are the bare bones. Alright. Who are the faction's enemies? We don't have enemies per se, still, there are some who oppose our beliefs. The Bleak Cabal scoff at the idea that we evolved towards something more perfect. I figure that if they don't think there's a point, they might as well get it over with, like the Dustman ought to. The Dustman think that life is an illusion, preparing for the big death. And our belief champions the cause of life. They promote death, we celebrate life. What could be more opposed? I see. What do you do anyway? Well, we run the Great Foundry. We also run Harbinger House, where we train folks who seem to be powers and training. Bashers who demonstrated some sort of special ability that sets them apart from normal mortals. Some say we do it because we want a power on our side, but the truth is we do it because we figure that's a part of our test as well. We do our best to make sure that every creature faces up to its responsibilities. We want to see the multiverse move on. It's kinda cool. Why you named as you are? That's a good question. Our real name is the Believers of the Source, because we believe all life springs from a pure primal source, but because We believe that all creatures have the potential for godliness within them. It's only natural that our nickname would be the Godsman. How do I join? A sly smile creeps across his face. Well, first you'll have to renounce your Sunset membership. Very well, I renounce them. What do I have to do? If you wish to join the Believers of the Source, you must complete 3 quests. The first quest is this. You must go to the forge and create an item. This will show that you are capable of seeing the possibilities inherent in even a base lump of iron, that you are capable of bringing forth something that will stand the test of time. It measures your vision and your ability to make the potential actual. Talk to Alyssa, the foundry's supervisor, in the main foundry to see how it all works. I see. I'd like to see the secret project if I could. He smiles. Friend, I can't give you that to you until you prove yourself a friend of the Godsman. Okay. Okay. What's this? This is some kind of an entrance that is protected, but it seemed like I can just waltz right in. Who is this guy? Niall Sander. You see a bushy-haired man, clad in the height of fashion, if you consider fashion to have died 50 years ago. His clothing seems to consist of tattered secret street urchin rags, and he seemed to affect a disdainful manner toward those around him, or that might be his actual manner. He doesn't even glance at you until you speak to him, and then his eyes begin searching your face carefully. Do you want something? Who are you? I am Niall Xander, great-grandson of the artificer Zero Xander, engineer, dreamer, creator. And I have finished his work, the work that you commissioned, the Dream Builder. Are you ready to claim the use of it now? What? A Dream Builder? What's that? It is both machine and ritual. It is a state of mind and a construct of steam and blood. It grants dreams to those who enter the confines. It was built for you, and it's waiting for you. Are you ready to finish it off? It has been waiting for you for decades. How do you know it was built for me? Because my great-grandfather, dear Xander, set your face in stone so that we could know you when you returned for the work you commissioned. He always thought you'd return, but no one else truly believed you would. Our family completed it because we said we would, and now here you are. Do you still have the stone? No, it was stolen from me a year ago. I saw only a shadow fleeting away. It was the only item taken from my home. I have no idea who took it, but I'd memorized its features. The features of the stone, that is. Alright, let's finish the Dream Builder. What I need to begin the final stages of the Dream Builder is a piece of your skin immersed in your blood, so the machine can familiarize itself with your physical essence. It must be in a blue-green bottle to symbolize the dream sea in which you will float. Oh, flesh and blood, huh? I don't know that I want to fetch that for you. You don't, eh? Then maybe you would have to remember that you're fetching those items for a design you funded, for a project you wanted created in the first place, for a device so impractical that the solution to it consumed the lives of 4 generations of my family, all for you. If you want to see this project complete, you finish the final stages and stop your endless whining. Fine, I'll do it. Just stop yelling at me. The blue bottle, where would I find it? I have no idea. Piece of your skin immersed in your blood, so the machine can familiarize it as well as Flesh and Blood has some questions. Tell me about your co-workers. Pa, they do not possess a true fire. They speak of creation and they boast their potentials, but they do not create anything beyond the mundane. Their imaginations are poor, limited, obsessed with the small details. A true dreamer, I say, creates a grand scheme and then concentrates on the details. Starting with the details is for the answer of the imagination. The small insects who aspire only to be fed. That's an interesting perspective on it. If I apply that to music, I would say that you could sometimes over-engineer something, like fixing on the gear, basically. That would be fixing on the details. That's so interesting. I do not know if I agree with that, but that's certainly an interesting thought. Okay, we have some locked door. Can I open it? We'll probably get killed for that, but no, we cannot open. Can I talk to them? Sorry, sir, no one's allowed up here until the Factor Sandos gets back. You can't go in. What can you tell me about him? He's a believer, sir, a true believer, but he's moody and all that. Travel across the multiverse can't be good on your head. You either lose perspective or get too much of it. Either way, it ain't good. I'm hoping he'll make it back safe. Well, I see, I suppose farewell. Let's get back to the main hall. This was quite a detour. Godsman. You want to work the forge, first you'll need a productive apron. Then you'll need to find some tongs, a hammer, and a free anvil. Then you get a lump of iron, place it on the fire until it gets hot enough to shape, and then pound the devil out of it on the anvil. When you've achieved the shape you need, dunk it in the water bucket nearby. That's the crash course. Mind you, you need some skill to handle it. Alright, I have some other questions. Where can I find the clerk's office? You see that room down there with the desk in it and the old guy sitting behind it? That's the clerk's office. And the clerk's sitting in there. You need anything else or I can get back to work? No, that's it. Where is that room? Oh, there's even logs in here. Door's locked. This one is locked too. Let's check the journal. I need to... So I have the receipt, right? The guy told me that it's somewhere south or east, don't remember. Maybe in quests. What would that be? Have the receipt that will allow me into the Great Foundry. Deliver your receipt. Not sure. Oh, might be in here, probably. I didn't notice that. There does seem to be some kind of an entrance. Yeah, that's probably it. I could probably walk here as well. Yeah, that's such a strange room. Why is it even here? Okay, let's talk to Nadine. You see a wizened old man, trembling with trembling hands and a cunning face. He looks you over carefully, then speaks. Hell, have I seen you here before? You seem familiar to me somehow. I suppose that's possible. I never forget a face. It'll come to me. Ah, butter with it. Do you remember where? It's important to me. Not so fast, lad. Takes a while for the mind to warm up to a task like this. I've lived a long time and seen a lot more faces in that time, and it ain't so easy to remember. My memory is a fleeting thing. That's some you can bank on. Before replying, you mutter, "Tell me about it, lad." Then can you tell me who you were? Me, I'm Nadalin, Godsman fighter extraordinaire, he says. At least, I used to be. Now I'm a clerk in the foundry, breathing in the sooty air and hastening my dying day along. That's a pity. Was there something else you wanted? No, I just wanted to see your smiling face. Bless you, son. And now if you'll excuse me, I have some business to look out. I'm here to pick up an item. Do you have a receipt? You need a receipt or I can't give you anything. Yes, I do. The old man takes the receipt from you and scrutinizes it carefully. This thing's over 100 years old. How'd you come by it? I left it for myself, but I got busy. That's a good loan, lad. It'll just be... I'll just bet you were busy. He laughs to himself. He passes over his armload. Here you go. Treat this work with care, you hear? That I will. Had some more questions, though. I'd like to pick up some gear for the forge. Ah, you wanted to be a smith now, eh? Like, very well. You'll need an apron, 10 copper, some tongs, another 10, and a hammer, which will be 20. That comes to, let me see, 50 copper. Doesn't seem right. That comes to 40 copper, yeah. What am I thinking? Of course it is. I tell you, my brain doesn't sing. That's it, give me the stuff. Don't forget to pick up some more from Tidian. Fieldon. Who's Fieldon? If you wanted to work the forge. He's a miserly bastard, but he's the only person to get ore from. Thanks. Had some other questions. Do you remember me? Well... Insidious ironwork. A weight of 10. This shimmering piece of... filigree. What's filigree? Ornamented with or resembling filigree work? What's filigree? Ornamental work of fine, typically gold or silver wire formed into delicate tracery. Is there images of it? I guess basically just ornamented with gold in circular patterns. There is an item in Elden Ring, Korean filigree crest. Comes up when you look up images of it. Okay. looks almost gauzy, sharp edges protrude from it. You have no idea what to do with it right now, but it must be important if you left it behind for yourself. I cannot identify it, at least not at the moment. Leather apron. This looks to be a heavy apron made from the hide of some creature. Aprons such as these are used to protect worked clothes from the heat of the forge. And I cannot wear it for some reason. Tongs I have. Okay, let's keep the handkerchief. Ironwork. This must be a shield, because it sounds like a shield. I remember that sound from Baldur's Gate. Can't fool me. Forge hammer. Let's get the eye, give it to Fall from Grace. And no, that's pretty much it, I think. I need to get some identify spells remembered so that I can identify the thing that I have. Okay, so... Oh, I could even get some ice and fire. This must be like an analog of fireball in this game. Fire nice. Have Mechanus cannon that I got from the modern maze. And that's pretty much it. Let's get instead of blindness, one identify. Okay, so I guess we could rest, probably. Can we rest here? You cannot rest in this area, I see. Okay. Let's run out of here. Because I want to check that item. It seems important. Maybe I had a scroll of identify. No, I used it on the lens. Can I rest here? Nope. Where can I? I don't think any of these places allow you to. Okay, let's go to the Sensits. Oh no, I cannot go there at the moment because I revoked my membership, so I'm not one of them. Let's go to... What was it? Could add notes. I wish some of the newer games had that option, but only the old stuff. Here's the modern maze. I wanted to go... I think this portion of the hive. Maybe Rackpicker Square. I could rest in the place that the hag lives in there. Use the portal lens to get there. Flophouse, perhaps. Yeah, that's the inn. Arlo. Could I rest here? How much? 5 coppers? Yep, here we go. Now let's identify this item. This is a shimmering piece of filigree metalwork. Okay, all you need to do to activate is to find the proper key. Oh, this must be the portal to Ravel's Maze, right? Must be. Okay, I saved. That's good. You unfold the shimmering metal and immediately it begins crackling with life. It begins forming itself into a metallic circle hovering in the air. There's something in your possession that has activated this portal. You get the feeling that you'll probably ought to make sure you have everything you need. You might not be back in Sigil for a long time. Fold it up. Not yet, at least. Probably tomorrow on the next stream I'll do that. But for now I want to just figure out that Godsman stuff. Okay, so let's go there. Through the modern maze. And then through the portal lens. We go into the lower ward, I think. Yep. So we need to find this guy with the ore. Oh, and there he is. Still done. You see a stab-stomached man with thick arms and a scraggly beard. He smells as if he hasn't washed in ages, and his breath doesn't do much for your breakfast. Doesn't do much for your breakfast? So it's revolting, I guess, the smell. I don't think I have ever heard that expression. He's in the process of ordering around subordinates as you approach him, and he deals a quick cuff to the ear of one of them. He turns to face you, hitching up his belt. What do you want? Had some questions. You want answers? Like what? I need to use the forge. Can you give me some more? Seems like they'll let anyone be a godsman these days, he grumbles. Ain't like the old days when you had to show real potential to be a member. You want this iron for your opponent's test, take it, then and get maced. Thrust a lump of cold ore into your hands. Thanks and farewell. Probably could interact with it. Probably with this. You step up to the forge. The heat is incredible. What do you want to do? Use the forge. The fire is throwing off an incredible amount of heat, but thanks to your protection, you are able to withstand it without any damage. Would you like to work the forge? Yes. What would you like to do first? Place the ore on the anvil and hammer away. I kinda want to do that. Let's quick save first. What was the... How would you say it? Not the method. The algorithm. What was the algorithm for making iron stuff? Origin item. Oh, they don't say. I guess I'll just figure it out then. I want to bash on the ore. Place the ore on the anvil and hammer away. You place the cold ore on the anvil and smash it with the hammer. You reduce it to a small, unusable chunks. The flames from the nearby forge rage, sending the stink of burning metal up to the skies. Step back. It seems that I have lost it at this point. Use the forge. Hammer on the anvil. You pound the empty anvil for a few moments, sending the ring and metal on metal to the nearing heavens. What hard work, sweaty to what now? Ready the tongs. You hold the tongs in a firm grip. The sweat pours from you. What would you like to do? It's kind of funny. Oh, and wait. Can she really? Yeah, she can level up. It just doesn't show on the portrait. Uh, it's funny. I can hammer on the. Pick up the ore with the tongs and hold it in the flame of the forge. The ore softens rapidly, soon becoming soft enough to work. Your hands grow slick with sweat. Place the softened ore on the forge and work it into shape. What would you like to forge? Something small and dangerous, a stiletto. A stiletto, quick, easy weapon, and one that will get you away from this inferno much sooner. You sure you want a stiletto? Yeah. It's a nice piece of work. Your stiletto is not only functional, it's perfectly balanced and deadly looking. Nice work. This thing will show me well. Keldron will certainly be impressed by this. Time to get out of the flames. High quality stiletto. But it's just like any other, to be honest. Probably should keep it in my inventory. But it's so funny, you can just pound on the anvil. Show him the item you forged. I have finished forging my creation. He takes it from you and examines it carefully. That is without a doubt one of the better pieces I have seen a recruit forge. You'll go far, my friend. Are you ready for the next test? I certainly hope so. I suppose I am. He continues grimly. A murder has struck in the foundry, and I am forsaking the usual test in order for you to track the killers down. Go speak to the supervisor, Elisa Teal'c, in the main foundry and proceed from there. When you have completed your investigation and are ready to name the culprit, come back to me. I see. Oh, a cutscene. Someone is under gears. Alright, everyone. You've seen enough. Get back to work. Wait, oh, there she is. I thought this one was one of the workers. You see a short woman with slight horns in her forehead and ears that curve sharply back on her skull. She smells faintly of sulfur, even over the reek of the foundry's fires. Greeting, what can I do for you? Sulfur is actually lethal to people if you inhale it. So this place must be pretty crazy, even if she smells of sulfur. I'm looking for a way out. I would like a tour. I'm looking for the way out. Look back here that way. You see a long tunnel there. Simply walk through it and you'll find yourself at the main gate. Thank you. You again? What do you want now? My apologies for my impatience, but we are on a schedule here. I had some questions for you. I need to get into that guarded room back there. I'd love to help you, but only the real high-ups can authorize that. You'd have to speak to Kilder about it. I'd like a tour. Ordinarily, there's nothing I'd like better. Sadly, right now, we're a little busy. Come back a year or so, and I'm happy to provide one. What's going on? We've taken a huge and very, very secret contract, one that's taken up practically all of our resources. We maintain a small operation for the day-to-day items for other orders, but now the foundry is devoted to fulfilling our contract. Don't bother asking about it because I won't tell you. You seem very firm about this. Very well, I had other questions. Until Kilder's authority, I'm investigating the murder that occurred here. What can you tell me about it? You want to know what I saw the night of the murder? Well, I was working late when I heard the sound of a scuffle. Then, when I came out, I saw a shadowy figure slip out of the door into the meeting hall. Then I raised the alarm. That's it. I only know 3 people who had access to the building that night. They were Fildon, Cyrus, and Bedailin. The 3 of them had dramatically different builds, but in the haze of the foundry I couldn't see clearly. How do I know you didn't do it? I have an alibi. Not to mention that Kelder already ascertained the truth from me. I have nothing to hide. Apparently Fildon, Cyrus, and Bedailin do, though, because they wouldn't go under Kelder's spell. Where do I find Fildon? He's usually between the main foundry here and the experimental chamber in back. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. Yeah, I know. Where do I find Cerus? Usually remains on the main meeting hall. You shouldn't be able to miss him. Okay, probably. Can I ask her about the people? No, doesn't seem like I can ask her about it. Let's ask Fieldon. Shame about that poor Smith Wildon, really it were. Still, he won't want to keep himself. To keep himself to the grindstone, he weren't dedicated. Tis the way of the plains turn. Mark my words, every bashful gets his due. Well, what can old Fieldon do for you? I'd like to ask some questions. What were you doing on the night of the murder? What was I doing? Why, I was sitting in my room with a nice loaf of bread and a jug of wine staying in. Didn't go out that night, didn't see no need. Do you know anyone who could swear otherwise? No, never saw the need to make sure of it. Won't please you must ask if you're really looking for Lizzie's sorrows. That little thieving knight goes everywhere. What with his father being such a high up here, he always was into new experiences. Boy's practically insensate, if you ask me. Probably wanted to kill someone and see if they could get away with it. Oh, that's interesting. That does seem kind of possible, you know? Could ask his sister. Greetings, wooden man. What do you need of me? Answers. Tell me of your family. Tell me of your brother. Yeah, doesn't seem like it. Can't tell me anything. Okay, let's talk to the lady over here. What was her name? Bedailin, yeah. What do you want? Tell me what you know about the murder. Let's see. I asked the guards to head out for the night because I was working on some delicate engineering on the project in the next room. And I didn't need their psychic examination following up some very crucial work. I was with some dismay that I found the body when I emerged from the room. Being as I have no other alibi, I realized that I'm a suspect, and I suspect you already found that I won't consent to go in under the spell to answer. The reason for is that it wouldn't be violating law of secrecy as were to protect the project. I think I'll check on that Will Kelder. You do that, he'll verify that I have told you. He administered the oath to me, so he knows its power. Very well, farewell. Oh, no, I didn't want to go there. What's going on? I press S. This is a bit weird. Must have a... Usually I would press S, I mean use WASD to get the camera in places, but it doesn't seem like... Maybe that's... I have no idea about this. Doesn't work. I guess I'll deal with that off stream. Stream for more 20 minutes or so. Or did I use it that way? I'm kind of beginning to doubt it. Could I rotate the camera like that? I mean, move it around, rather. Tell me if you know the murder. Yeah, I think it'll check on with killer. Very well. Let's talk to Saros. That poor Smith, I can't believe what happened to him. Do you have any idea what might have happened or have some leads? Who told you? The supervisor? She's right. I come in here at night, sometimes when there's no one around. He looks around conspiratorially for a moment and lowers his head toward Joseph Fieldon, creeping out of here. The main reason I know it was him because he dropped something. He hands you an awl with the name Fieldon etched into the wooden handle. Awl? What's an awl? Small pointed tool used for piercing holes, especially in leather. Oh, that thing. Kinda looks like a kiwi. Or you could say, what was it? A light bulb. God damn, I forgot that word for a second. Yeah, cannot anymore. Strange. And I can't, I think it's a bug of some sort. I can't select all of the... Oh no. I think it's some kind of a combat mode. But I do not know how to get out of it. I think that's... No, that doesn't fix the... That's so strange. What's going on? Now I can press combat mode with the... Let's get back to Fieldon. There he is. Cyrus, you remember Cyrus, don't you? Give me a knoll found near the body. Oddly, the soul has the name etched into your name, etched into the handle. How do you explain that? He looks momentarily flustered, and then Cyrus is a thief. Odds are he stole it from me. Fact, I've been missing my all for some time now. Never mentioned it to anyone because I figured I just lost it. Now I know that Cyrus stole it to frame me. Better to get him before he gives you the laugh. Seeing your expression, he says, before he escapes. That sounds a little too pat. I'll ask him about it as soon as I get more answers from you. Well, there's really no answers he can give me. Or at least questions I can ask him, I guess. Keldor. Well, have you found the culprit for the heinous crime? Do you have evidence? Not enough. I wanted to talk about the murder investigation. No. Yes, Saros is still here. What have you found? Have you found? Are you going to let me go free? Tildon says that you planted an ultimatum at the murder scene and that you're trying to frame him for the murder because you two disagreed. Of course you say that, because he's guilty and he wants to make you look someplace else. I saw him kill that man. Sure, we were disagreed, but that doesn't mean I want him dead. Just because he's a total berg doesn't mean he should be arrested. He should be arrested for killing Avildon. Tell him he needs proof. Okay, I'll do that. Let's go see what kind of proof he has. Fieldon is probably the killer, I'm guessing. What did little Lickspill tell you now? I'm sure it will all lies. He tells me that it's not a frame. In fact, he says that he personally witnessed you killing the poor sod. He what? I tell you that the boy is a thief and a murderer, and you don't believe me? What if I told you the lad is an anarchist too, a member of the Revolutionary League? Why should I believe that? Pius looks crimson to his face, cause I say it so, cause I'm about to say something that will make a criminal of me, but I'll say it to justice done. He poses. I know he's an anarchist because he tried to recruit me. Him and that engineer Ben I told them I'd do it so that I could trap him, but then I realized that I didn't have the stomach to harm poor Saros. What? I told them that I'd do it so I could trap them, but then I realized I couldn't have the stomach. So okay. So he's not actually an asshole. I turned them down, and now they're trying to cover the tracks. That's why they want me gone. They're the killers, not me. This is confusing. Says you. I'll check that out. Answer some questions for me first. I mean, assuming I believe this, why shouldn't I have imprisoned you too? What, you're accusing me? But I didn't do anything, Burke. You've got the wrong man. Please, I did not do it. Yeah, he's probably not him. I'm just having a little joke with you. Fidon, farewell. Let's go to Pidalin, I guess. Fieldon says you're an anarchist and that you're trying to pin the crime on him. Anarchist, right? Here's my other leg. Did you have some real questions? Can I get back to work? Fieldon says you're an anarchist. Yeah. Tell me what you know about the murder. Says the same thing, I see. Maybe we could speak to Keldor. Where's Saros? Hiding in the corner so you can't see me. Not enough. Can you tell me about this place? Doesn't seem like I can ask him about any of the people. Which is strange, but fine, I guess. Have to keep talking to Saros. Tilden tells me that you and Bidai are anarchists, and that you're trying to frame him because he turned down an offer to join you. Saros pales. She has nothing to do with this. I did it on my own, but the truth is, Tilden shoved Avildon into the gear. I put the all there to make sure everyone would know he was there because I'm just a kid and no one would believe me. What I was saying, alright? I admit that I planned it all, but I only did it to make sure he got punished for his crime. Why? Why should I not think that you're doing this to get back at him for some other crime? Because because I don't know what you think that, but I promise, go talk to him and tell him what I said, and you can decide for yourself. Hmm. Nothing yet. Let's quick save. He says that he planted the all in the body, but only because he wanted to make sure that you would be implicated in the death. He says you're a murderer, and he wanted to make sure you got caught. He did? Then you have to arrest him. Can't you see he's a menace? How could you possibly trust the thieving, lying child when it's obvious he got no morals? Arrest him and have done with it. That seems wrong. Why would he do that? To further the anarchist agenda, Burke, he lowers his voice and stares at you with his baleful intensity. Those anarchists, see, they're all fanatics. They fanatics they are, and they don't take so kind to people like me. They're willing to expose them. They'll sacrifice anyone to further their schemes. He straightens up and proclaims, "It's up to honest people like me to keep them perks out of the straight and narrow." Really, Phildon, Cyrus is a young man, and young men make mistakes. I very much doubt that he would throw himself away to get to you, just in order to protect the people who get him into this mess in the first place. Loyalty is all fine and all good, but he's smart enough to know when he's being set up. No, Phildon, I think it's you're to blame. I guess I could see that he made a mistake of being an anarchist first because he's young and all, and uh, Bidailin does not seem to be an anarchist type. I think that's. His beefy face grows red with apoplexy. You are accusing me, but I ain't the murderer. I'm just trying to expose anarchist, Burke. Damn you. You can't do this to me. You can't trust anyone who says that they saw me do it, so you can't say that I did it. Would you say the same thing under oath and under spell? I'm baiting Cyrus would. Bugger. Can I at least take my stuff and give this place the laugh? All I fulfill them will make sure you won't regret it. Remain here or suffer even more consequences. Rest assured that I can make certain of that. Remain here. Can I talk to Bidali now? Hmm. Confusing for sure. Ugh. Let's talk to Kilder. Well, have you found the culprit for this heinous crime? Do you have evidence? I guess it might be like one of those things that whatever you choose here is true, basically. It makes it true. So you frame the world with how you behave and your philosophy, maybe. Fieldon committed the crime, but Severus tried to frame him for it. It's an anarchist plot, and Severus is in the middle of it. Arrest them both. Fieldon did it. He had personal problems with Evildon, and he was trying to frame Severus for the crime. Execute him. Severus is an anarchist trying to break down the foundry. He tried to frame Fieldon for the crime. I think the second option is the safest one. Fieldon committed the crime, but Severus tried to frame him for it. It's an anarchist plot, and Severus is in the middle of it. Arrest them both. Whoa, both of them? This is a sad day for the guardsmen. A sad day indeed. Allow me a moment to summon the guards. You seem saddened by the ordeal. It is done. My thanks to resolve investigation. You have but one test remaining to you, Sandos, father of Saros and Saros. One of our vital members has returned from a harrowing journey. He has locked himself up in the tower room and is threatening to kill himself. Speak to him. Stop him. I see. I want to see if there is an actual, like, truthful ending or a truthful resolution to this. What was his name? Kelder. Let's look up on the internet. Solve a murder case, one of the quests you have to perform during the Guardsman, yeah. Solve a murder case. Saros again, he admitted to be an anarchist. Galantine Ubidesari has nothing to do with it, and nothing to go under spell to prove that Fieldon is the murderer. Check with Fieldon one last time. You can finger Fieldon, Saros, or both. He'll finally admit to the murder and ask you to let him escape before you speak to Kelder. Okay, I must have missed that. But I chose both of them. I kinda didn't want to get Saros. That's unfortunate. Let me do that again. Fieldon did it. I would never have believed it of Fieldon. I trust your investigation was thorough, and I trust you allow me to summon the guards. Take your time. Some sudden but ordeal. It is done, my thanks to resolving the investigation. Have but one task remaining. Wait, did I get any experience? Yeah, you get the experience anyways. I see. Okay, let's go see our new found person, Sandos. Cannot open it. Cosmo guard. Need to talk to Sandos, sir. Good luck. Thanks. Call through the door. Sandos, we've got to talk. Sandos's voice is muffled by the thick door. What do you want? The voice sounds desperate and lonely. They said I should come to talk to you. I guess they don't want you dead? I see. Send the concerned stranger to talk to me out of it, huh? Huh, the voice drops to a conspiratorial tone. Did they tell you that you could join them? If you just came to talk to me? Did they think it would make you care more? Wait for him to continue. Or I just wanted to see if I could help. Wait for him to continue. Well, say something. Or you suddenly mute? Huh, if you had seen half of the things I'd seen. Half of the things I'd seen. What have you seen? I have seen horrors beyond imagining. I have seen a twisted, tortured god, bound by laughing fiends. I have seen a layer of the abyss distill itself into one essence of a single individual. A layer of the abyss distill itself into the essence of a single individual? I have seen all of the laws of nature perverted, and I have seen all of the truths of man turned upside down. None of it makes sense to me anymore, and I cannot bear it any longer. What's the point? I ask you, what's the point? That's the entire basis of the Gossman philosophy, Sandoz. Just remember that you're going through tests. What's being tested now is your grasp, or perhaps the expanse of your intellect. Look at what you've done and ask what you're supposed to learn. The sharp laugh. They thought you well, at least. Let me think about this. I hope you got some time. Think it over. When it speaks again, the voice sounds a little too more balanced. Go down and tell Keldor you've talked some sense into me. I'll want to see him eventually, but you've done your job. Go on, you know. That's so nice. Sandoz. He looks like a necromancer for Diablo 2. He has noose hanging from the walls. I mean, some kind of a wooden structure. Keldor. Have you succeeded in convincing him that his life is worthwhile? I have succeeded. He has regained his zest for life. You have succeeded. Glorious news. Congratulations, my friend. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Godsman. Would you like to take the oath now? Perhaps until later? Now. The oath. Life is tribulations or tests. There is nothing I encounter that is not a lesson. Pain is the multiverse's way of reinforcing a lesson. What I hate most in others is a reflection of what I hate most in myself, and I would like to activate my potential and to aid others in achieving their goals. I've remembered that divinity spark is present in everything. I swear fealty to the believers of the source and their goals, never to forsake them. You swear the oath, and Keldor smiles. Welcome to the Godsman, lad. Do you need anything from me now? Got some questions. What can I do for you? I'd like to purchase some items. Scroll of armor, what's that? Physical attacks should be thwarted as protection granted to those who have none. This spell grants an armor class of 6 to the target. This is cumulative with dexterity bonuses, but nothing else. Spell lasts until the wearer sustains cumulative damage totaling more than 8 points, plus level of the caster. Plus 1 per level of the caster. Note that the armor does not absorb this damage, only disintegrates after that much damage has been inflicted on it. I see. Bunch of spells here. Lightning Storm. He has a piercing dagger called Enlightenment, usable only by the Godsman. Plus 1 to Charisma, plus 1 to Armor. As the second weapon of the Godsman, Triad of Tess, Ascension, and Reason are the other 2 weapons in the Triad. This dagger is slim, perfectly balanced, and light as a feather. The symbol of the Godsman is engraved along the blade, and the entire weapon seems to shiver as if in anticipation. You are the first to bear this weapon. So they've crafted it and they want to sell it to me. What's Ascension? gives charisma as well. Ascension is one of the finest weapons created in the Great Foundry, the home of the believers of the Source. It is one of 3 weapons called the Triad of Tests, including the Hammer Reason and the Dagger Enlightenment. The symbol of the faction is engraved on the axe head, and the edges of the blades are so sharp they could split hair lengthwise. A hair lengthwise? You're the first to wear this weapon. What about Reason? Interestingly enough, it's a mace. I guess hammer. This enormous hammer is the 3rd weapon in the Gosman Triad of Tests. The other 2 are the Axe Ascension and Dagger Enlightenment. Its head is covered with mystic runes and engraved with the symbol of the Gosman. It firms in your hands. You're the first one to bear this weapon. Let me buy Enlightenment. Doesn't seem like I have the space for it though. With the stiletto and the elixir to fall from grace. Buy this weapon from him, and then I want to find out what this secret project is. Scalpel I could probably throw away at this point. Yeah, it has a note how to equip the item, even. I have some questions, no? I'd let us see the secret project if I could. You have proven yourself trustworthy. Here, take this. He presses a token emblazoned with the Godsman symbol into your hands. Do not lose it. If you do, I'm afraid I cannot replace it, so be careful with it. Is there anything else I can do for you? No thanks, very well. What's this? The bearer of this token, a brass coin embossed with the seal of the believers of the Source, has proven himself to the Godsman. It's a symbol of trust, and as such it allows this bearer into the portions of the Foundry that are normally off limits except the high-ups of the faction. Okay, let's go see it. Sarosa. Thanks to your words, my father Sanders is alive and well. I can only hope that whatever force has carried him this way, I cannot believe he came to this on his own. We'll pay for its misdeeds. What else can I do for you? Can you ask us some questions? No, same thing. Let's go see the secret project. Would be such a bummer if it's like something disappointing. Seems kinda important. Door is locked. Can I hide up here? What's behind those guarded doors? I'm afraid that's a secret. Well, it doesn't seem like I can walk. Just by telling the guards. What if I talk to Alisa? I need to get into that guarded room back there. I'd like to help you, but the only real high-ups can authorize that. I have to speak to Kilder, but I spoke to Kilder. What the hell? Maybe I have to walk through here? Sandos or Kilder should be able to aid you in this matter. Maybe I should speak to Sandos. You mentioned having seen me before. Do you remember where? No, he doesn't. Can I speak to him about... No, I cannot get into the guarded room from him. Let's go to this place. Try to talk into Sandos then, I guess. Oh, you my life, stranger. I won't forget it, but right now I have some thinking to do. How will you forgive me for not talking? I see. I dropped something on the floor. Oh, that's a scalpel. Greetings, comrade. What is this? Communist torch? When did we go all communist? At what point? You're a godsman now. Are you still happy with it? Yes, I am. Good. It pleases me that you're happy with your choices. What can I do for you? There's some questions. What is the secret project you're working on? No, cannot. She does not want to tell me. Guess I have to speak to someone in the main hall. Oh, I should have spoken to this guard instead of the other one. Show the token to the guard. I've got the token. Examines the token closely. My mistake, sir. May I help you with anything else? No, good day. Oh, he'd opened the door. What's this place? A weapon? Kilchera. She Gizray woman, bald, with scarred cheeks and cat's grace in her walk. As she turns toward you, his eyes dark on, her eyes widen. She addresses him. You bring joy to my heart. My name is Calera. May I aid you? My companion would like to speak with you concerning the workings of this device. May he speak for the two of us? She looks at you and looks back at him quizzically. Of course, esteemed one, if you speak for him and accept responsibility for keeping what passes here secret, she turns her attention reluctantly to you. You have questions for me? Yes. Now she glances at Fall from Grace, and her mouth curves into a graceful mow. Apologies, Honored One, but I cannot speak of this. I am both contractually and magically bound not to speak of this in the hearing of certain manifestations, shall we say, of belief. She turns to the succubus. My apologies, Lady Grace. I understand. Kelera bows. What does that mean? She can't speak about it in the presence of fiends. I would speculate that since she's been bound contractually, that means it's a project of law, and since she's been bound to it magically, it's likely Batizu in origin. Interesting. It's quite a chain of speculation, is she correct, Caldera? Again, the supervisor turns and completely words fall from Grace and grits her teeth. I may not speak of it. Fine, then. Answer some questions for me. Ask and I will tell you if I may. I trust your companion's discretion. Tell me what this device does. Our device spouts forth a certain type of magical fire that harms even those resistant to ordinary fire. We're working on applications that might even get around the creature's magical resistance. What other applications might it have? Aside from its weapon values, it could be used as an excellent mining device. If tuned properly, it could harvest whole swaths of forest or fields in grain. I could harden a shell of Limbus material for a time. We have even tried lesser applications of the technology here, or even be used as a propulsion across the spheres of Carceri. It uses are limited by one's imagination or not purely as a weapon of destruction. That's interesting. Who has contracted this device? I cannot speak of it unless Lady Grace is not. It's so strange. Can you tell me about the engineers? Just call saying several creases to her card face. Speak to one of my smiths who would know of the engineers. No kind words for the engineers if you'll hear from me. Why not? Why? Because they do not seem to share a love for this project as do their comrades, because they are dreamers and do none of the action themselves, because ultimately I do not trust that their intentions mean well for us, but instead benefit them alone. That's interesting. Said for Darkon. Who is she and why did she treat you with such respect? She's of the people, her marking still of one who has walked the path from limbo and has been made to not know our ancestral home. Her markings tell all Gitsray to render her assistance and tell the Gitsray that she is still of the people. Her reverence for me is the reverence shown to all Earth. Very well, Calera. I had some questions. Well, I guess that's all of the questions, really. They've tested it on the wall here. I guess that's it for now. That's it for the stream. Yeah, it should say. Well, thanks for checking out it live if you're watching, and the VOD if you're watching the VOD as well. I will stream again tomorrow at the same time. It's actually 7 p.m. my time. And I guess I'll see you then. We'll talk to more people here and find out what this thing does. I could even interact with it. Well, see you tomorrow.